Alright, it's your boy Genius with G Squared Tactical out here at the range with the Thesis / Mac 9 double stack 1911. So let me explain to you, let me take a second to explain to you what you're getting ready to watch, because I can hear it now. What did I watch for a minute and a half with some gawky music? I couldn't even see a target or nothing, you know. My wife and I came out to the range after my initial thought range video on this gun, which you can go over and watch now. It should already be up. We decided to do a comparison video between this one and the Thesis DS 1911. And we got home, realized our audio was jacked. That was during the shooting. That was during our talking, everything. We felt good. My wife got very audible in that video, which she never does, and it just did not work, okay? The audio was jacked, that's all I can say. So we ended up sitting in the room talking about our experience at the range that day, trying to remember what we had talked about and covered, and overlaying that with some shooting with no audio, no ding 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 or nothing like that. But after we filmed that one, I also obviously didn't do a quality check on the volume. Come to find out, I did a getting this out to 250 round video, and that was jacked too. So what you're getting ready to watch is that compilation of shooting, if you will, getting it to that point and seeing that there's no issues. And then I got 2 more magazines loaded up here. I'm gonna get it out to 300 today, and I hope that the audio is not jacked this time and that you'll be able to hear everything just fine. But let's watch that right fast. I just have this hang up about, if I say I ran a gun out to a certain number of rounds, I want you to be able to go back to all the videos and verify that that's true. Just honesty, straight up, like you would go out to the range, and not pumping up the numbers, but actually allowing you to see it. So what you see right here is not 250 rounds, but in combo with the comparison video in my first initial thought video, it'll be 250. I'm gonna put another 250 through it today. I'm sorry, another 50 to get it out to 300, because we're gonna have to start minimizing how many rounds we put through some of these guns to be a little bit more frugal with the financial end of G Squared Tactical until we can get a little bit better. Make sure you know Jesus Christ is your Savior. Want to get that out front instead of at the end. If you don't know, ask me how you can know. We can take care of that. So let's watch that shooting, and then we'll come back, put these through 2 magazines through it, get it out to 300, and I'll give a final thought, if you will, on what I think overall about the gun. All right, so I got 17 round, 2 17 rounders. What is that math? 34. So I got 34, so I will have to load up 16 more. I guess that math's right. I'm horrible at math. To get out to 50 and make it a 300 round ordeal. And once I do that, I will talk a little bit about my final thoughts on the gun overall. And again, I do invite you to go over and check out the comparison video we did. We did try to make the best of it. Go over, check out my initial first thoughts on the gun, and you'll kind of get a little bit of an idea of what I thought about certain things. But let's just put these 34 through it, and we'll get back and talk about it. I don't know. So that's 34. I'm gonna load up another magazine here, and we'll be right back. All right, so I went ahead and put 17 in there, so we'll get 301. Why not? Maybe we'll have a malfunction and it'll only be 3. No, I'm just kidding. But either way, I'm gonna go ahead and put this magazine through it, and then I'll give a final thought on the gun. I'm glad that the smoke I'm talking about was coming towards the camera so that you could see that. It's pretty intense. But either way, you will have, if you have watched it, if this is the first video of the series, if you will, that you've watched, some of it may or may not make sense to you. But so during the initial thought video, I had 2 stovepipes. One of them was a real beautiful stovepipe. One of them not so much, but stovepipes nonetheless. And then during the comparison video, I had a situation where I was shooting one-handed, obviously not able to ride the slide lock in that case. I was shooting one-handed, it didn't lock back on the mag. And then one time I was shooting with both hands and it didn't lock back on the mag. That happened twice, has not happened again. If you ride the slide lock on a 2011, or for that matter, even a 1911, you're very intentionally trying to do that. It's just not an easy thing to do. So I'm gonna rule me out of the equation on that one. What I ran through it today was the Igman 124. I have had very good success with that ammunition. But either way, I did have those 2 stovepipes. Those were in the first 50, well, actually the first 2 magazines actually, and it hasn't happened since then. So call it a break-in period if that's what you want to do, whatever. The second time we come out, when we were getting it out to 250 rounds, right after the comparison video, we had the situation where it wouldn't lock back on the mag. Not a big deal. It happened twice. It hasn't happened again. But I tell you, along around about the 225 mark, somewhere in there, it really started to come into itself. The trigger seemed to be getting better. It seemed to be breaking in, if you will. Now, I did not have that issue with the Thesis. It's pretty much been the same, consistent from day one. Been really, really fun to shoot. I do prefer the Thesis as far as shooting over this one, but this one is getting better with time. So if you thought about going out and picking it up, now that I'm probably about 75 rounds into the 300 that we've already done without incident of any kind, becoming a little more familiar and able to shoot a little better with it, I can say that it's coming into itself. And definitely, I'm not hating on the gun. If you've considered buying it, I totally could recommend the gun. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with it. Again, made by Thesis to Mac standards. This is the Mac 9 or Mac double stack 1911, and I could totally recommend the gun, no question about it. Thanks so much for watching. Again, make sure you know Jesus Christ your Savior. Consider supporting me over on Patreon, $5 a month, cancel anytime. We'll have a donation tab soon on gsquaredtactical.com. Go over there anyway, pick up some hats, gear, shirts, things like that. We'll get them shipped out to you really, really quick. Super thanks on YouTube. We get that money as well. But if you can do none of those things, we also covet your thumbs up, like, share, comment. Tell your friends where they can find the best blue collar reviews on YouTube. And as always, to God be the glory.